What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Charm City Heavyweights Podcast brought to you by Great Eights Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my co host, Josh Merrill. What is going on, buddy?
What's up, Matt? Coming live from the man cave. It should be a quick prediction show. We don't got Arizona Cardinal fans on here talking for 2 hours. This game's pretty cut and dry, buddy. Let's get into it.
It, yeah, I definitely is. I've been trying all week, man, since pretty much since last Sunday. I've been messaging everybody that I could that, I found on social media for Arizona Cardinals fans. And I guess with how shitty they are, just nobody wants to join the show. I reached out to a couple former players. They may come through, they may not. Um, if it's a surprise, it's a surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's like you said, let's just dive into it. Um, we can talk a little bit more about the trade deadline as well because that'll be passed by the time we go on air again, unless we do a trade, unless the Ravens do something crazy. And we can. Arizona's falling apart, man. They've lost their
4 in a row.
last four by double digits. Josh Dobbs is not a starting NFL quarterback. Yeah, four in a row.
No. Dude ain't got
Um,
no eyebrows, dude.
Dobbs isn't very good. Kyler Murray just came back to practice on Wednesday. I doubt
Yeah,
they
they've been
toss him out
forced to
there against
doubt
the
him.
number one
Yeah, no.
defense in the
If they
league.
just listed him, as doubtful today. No way. Why would you do such a thing? You know. Yeah, they're bad, man. They're really bad. It's a shame though, because their coach seems like he's a good coach. They start off kind of well, and then they kind of fizzle out as the game goes. He just doesn't. It's not a talented team. So Hollywood Brown, how you like that?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I think when Hollywood Brown asked to be traded there, it was Kyler Murray being college quarterback. He was over there at Oklahoma, and I just think that
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. I don't really know a whole lot about the Arizona Cardinals in terms of their coaching staff. I know they have a young staff, but Lock and Forrest shitted all over him today on Inside Access. He didn't pull any punches, and he pretty much said that their coach Jonathan Gannon just hired a bunch of his buddies that were pretty much frat boys and drinking buddies to be on his coaching staff with them, and they're tanking for Caleb Williams, and they're probably going to end up flipping Kyler in the off season, which makes sense to a degree. That's he's not your quarterback. You didn't draft him and all that, but
Who would
yeah,
want
I
him?
don't feel bad for Hollywood because he wanted out.
They should have never
Um,
paid him. It was their fools for paying him. I mean, what did he do to warrant that?
he he has really before
Nothing.
his ACL injury, he had really good athleticism, but I think the Cardinals paid him in fear that he was going to go to the Oakland Athletics that drafted him in the Major League Baseball, and that he would just leave the team and go pursue his baseball career.
Maybe. I've never
Yeah, I mean
read
that's
anything I like about the kid. He seems arrogant. I didn't like him on Hard Knocks. He just seems arrogant. Hard Knocks in season. He just seems arrogant. I don't know. I don't like him, man. I thought they were
the
stupid for
biggest thing
paying him.
is that the biggest thing that I've heard about him is that he doesn't study the playbook a whole lot. He's not really into the week to week preparation. He spends a lot of time streaming on his Twitch channel for video games. And yeah, that's pretty much what consumed a lot of his free time when he could be putting in time for the game. I this might be a bloodbath this weekend. I really have a feeling that we're gonna
Oh
keep
yeah,
on rolling on offense.
it's easy to
And
break down. It's easy. You don't let them. If you make if we put up points big, their defense is terrible. We should move the ball, and they got Buda Baker, but their defense is terrible. They're shit. So if we get a big lead, force them to pass it, it's going to get ugly really quick. They're not passing the ball. They're like 29th or 30th worst passing team in the NFL. Uh, yeah, it should be a bloodbath. If this is now, look, it's any given Sunday. Stranger things have happened, but I don't think that's happening this week. I think this team's too focused. I think they're not looking past Arizona. They're going in there to punch them in the mouth and send the Cardinals fans home early. Sad. And that's what you get, Hollywood Brown. Traitor.
I don't see us having one of those. I don't think this is going to be one of those trap games. I do believe that this is a game where we continue to build our confidence, and this is more of a swagger building game to where we go out there and just dominate start to finish. And I have a feeling that the Arizona Cardinals will be one of those teams where they are completely decimated at the trade deadline in a couple days. Like you mentioned, Buda Baker. This might be the last game Buda Baker plays as an Arizona Cardinal, and they were going to trade Zach Ertz before he's a good player, and he'll fetch them a couple high draft picks, at least one second or third round draft pick, and he'll be a contributor to a Super Bowl contending team. It's crazy that a couple years ago they were touted as one of the better teams in the NFC West, and now here they are bottom feeding and tanking for Caleb Williams. And I really
certain franchises, dude, go back to their roots. It's just how it goes. It's just how it goes.
I remember how bad they were. I remember how bad they were for a while. They had Jake Plummer, and they had Matt Leinart, and then they had Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer. They were okay for a while, and then they've been, back to, between Kyler being hurt and all that. They just had a shitty string of luck at quarterback after the Palmer and Warner days. They made a Super Bowl with Warner, right?
Yeah, I wish they'd have beat the Steelers, man. So
that's right. Yep.
And Bo came here to a real franchise and got his fucking ring.
And he got nominated for the Hall of Fame today. That was nice.
Congratulations.
It was nice to see. If Q goes into the Hall of Fame, I pray he goes in as a Raven.
Oh, dude, he's only going where he won a championship. He was only here, but also you got to remember he won a championship here.
I would hope so, even though he
harder always be. But he already retired a Raven, Matt, a few years last year. So they did his little press conference last year or the year before. So I imagine he'll go in as a Raven.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't like when Ed Reed had his speech, how they had
I hope so.
the Raven Bird, and then they put the Texans and the Jets up. Like, that was bullshit. Nobody remembers him on the fucking Jets or the Texans.
We'd like to forget that. And I hope when Suggs goes in that he doesn't have a Cardinals or Chiefs, symbol up there.
By the way, man,
I wanted to ask you, because I know that you've been watching NFL.
By the way, he came clean why he left. Now it makes perfect sense. His mom was dying.
And it made sense.
I get it. Feel bad about being mad at him.
With his mom being terminally ill, I totally understand.
Yeah. Matt, there wasn't much. I heard with the film comment. Listen, dude, this was stupid to break down. There's nothing to watch. That they're bad. They had a good game against Dallas. They're not good at stopping the run. They really can't stop the fucking pass. They're really bad. It's Buda Baker running for everybody. It's bad. So, like I said, the Ravens should be able to move the ball with ease. It should be a clean pocket for Lamar. He should be able to pick them apart, run this score up. And then they're really fucked because they have to pass the ball. If you keep it close and allow them to have to run the ball, and then they start play action, and Dobbs, with no eyebrows, starts hitting some dudes, but I just don't see the Ravens letting that happen. And I don't feel too bad for Cardinals fans. They're in the fucking World Series as I'm watching, and they're winning right now.
Yeah, I'm totally anti Texas Rangers. They beat us to get there, and then they beat the Houston Astros. I was happy that they beat the Astros, but I can't find myself to root for the Texas Rangers to win the World Series. I'd rather see the Arizona Cardinals win their first one.
We just had. Well, it won't be their first one. They're the Diamondbacks, and it would be their second World Series.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm crossing over.
You're a young fellow. It was Luis Gonzalez back in the day.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson. Yeah, that whole team.
Oh, your dad told you about that.
Oh yeah, exactly. My dad told me about that. Yep.
Definitely.
Because Frank paid his attention to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Frank watches the World Series, man. Frank's not watching this World Series right now. I would bet my life that if you called Frank right now, he's watching this.
Probably. That's if he's awake.
Hey,
But
man,
I really it's awkward doing a
It's not
preview
awkward.
show
I
when
mean,
there's nobody here to kind of banter back and forth. Like you, they're very mediocre up front, and it just to me it doesn't really
there's nothing to look at, dude.
you know
It's
I don't see them.
they like I said, they do start
Yeah,
off.
that's
They
the
don't start
crazy
off
thing.
bad. They don't. But here's the thing. Like I said, the first quarter, maybe midway through the second quarter, they start running out of gas, and then like he may hit a few passes. He may find Hollywood down the field, for 10, 15 yards a few times. That's how they start off, and then it just kind of falls apart. Because the defense is so bad, and then the offense has to do more now. Can't run the ball, can't play action, and Dobbs is just not an NFL quarterback. I don't know how he's getting another chance to play in the NFL and start. And like I said, the dude ain't got eyebrows.
Does it freak you out that much?
Yes, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. At least draw some fake ones on like some women do.
So go ahead and just what's your score prediction for the weekend, man? I want to kind of
Oh
talk about the
God,
trade deadline. Just go ahead and get your prediction out of the way.
I was trying to say you're ending this show early, man. We're
Nah, we ain't doing that. Not too early.
Well, there's no guest here for Matt to warn about my score. That's good. I'm gonna go. Man, I don't know why I think this before because I always change my mind. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 37. 6 Ravens. They get 2 field goals, one in the first quarter, one in the fourth. Lamar's sitting down by the third quarter.
42-7.
Nice.
42-7.
Excuse his score, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse Matt's score. This is what he does. He makes outlandish scores, guys. I'm done. You move
on. Dickhead. Stop being a dickhead.
I'm done. Move on.
Yeah, but all right. So now that we got that out of the way, do you see us making any trades come
No,
Monday or early Tuesday?
I don't. I don't
What's
think
your gut
he wants
feeling
to
on
give
it?
up any. I don't think. I know nothing significant. If anything happens, I don't think it's going to be any big moves. I think that he don't want to give up any trade capital. He needs these draft picks now, man. He needs these draft picks now. Lamar's got paid now. He wants these draft picks. He's got to nail these draft picks. That's how you got to do it when you pay your quarterback. So I don't see him giving up any draft picks to get anybody good.
Even if the price is right.
I don't, man. I just don't. Unless he just says
Even
we're all
if the
in
price
on
is
this
right and
year.
you can snag somebody.
But he's in a multiple year window. Unless in his mind he thinks this is the year he has the best shot in the window and this is the time to dump everything in one basket. But I don't think he thinks that. I think he thinks maybe next year's that year, the second year under the new offense. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. If anything happens, I don't see them going out. I think all the pass rushers right now are at such a high premium that they're not going to go out there and send multiple first or a 1 and a 3 or a 1 and a 2 anywhere for somebody like Daniil Hunter or uh, the either one of the Sweat or Young down in Washington, and I don't think they're going to do the same for Brian Burns down in Carolina because he's in his contract year. You got to pay Burns. So to me, I don't think they're going to go get a pass rusher, and we really don't need a receiver either. I don't believe that we need a receiver. And
And
to
people are
me,
still calling in the radio saying we need pass rush. We're number 2 in sacks, guys. Like, the pass rush is working. Like, what
yeah,
do you
and
want?
it's working. Owe should be back to full speed.
Owe looked good
Back
last
in
week.
he did, but I'm still saying like he should be back into the swing of things in terms of like just being completely healthy. And then I'm also under the impression that we're gonna get a little bit of production out of the kid Robinson towards the end of the year. He looked good in limited duty last week, and it was against backups. But I think that if he can just kind of be the pure pass rusher and not have to worry about containing the edge and just put him in there on obvious passing downs, Van Noy and Clowney are going to carry us. Both of those guys have been playing extremely well. I understand that you might want to add a depth piece. We cut Jeremiah Moon, so I'm not sure who's going to be taking his
Lost
roster spot unless Tylen Wallace or somebody comes back. Um,
Wallace is back. Oh, so there you go.
yeah, so okay, so Wallace is off the IR, so that was the roster spot.
So did they put
I
Moon on the practice squad?
I'm not
Did he go
sure.
back to
I
the
haven't.
PF?
I checked with Sarah Ellison or Jeff Zerbiak on Twitter for my Ravens news, but neither one of them have mentioned anything about him going back to the practice squad. And if we add anybody, and I know this sounds crazy, if we add any position, I think we go get a running back. And I'm not saying that we're going to give up high
Oh,
draft picks.
Derrick Henry. Here we go.
No, no, no. Not even. I'm not even saying Derrick Henry. Something that might be more the Ravens' speed might be going and getting Dalvin Cook from the Jets. He said he wants out today. He requested
He
a
don't like the
trade,
Jets?
and we were linked to him in the off season
Why?
before he signed. But no, he requested a trade out because Brees Hall came
Wow.
back from the ACL injury and he's been dominating up there. So Dalvin Cook's fallen to the second running back. I don't. I as much as the football fan of me wants to see Derrick Henry in the same backfield as Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's going to be possible. Not with the money, because I think they can make things shake for money. It's going to be the compensation. The Titans don't like us. We don't like them. We just beat them in London last week. We have some bad blood with the coaches. We have some bad blood with the organizations. Period. We used to be rivals. I think the last thing the Titans are going to do is send their star running back, who probably still has some juice left in the tank, to a division or conference rival that's a Super Bowl contender to help them get over the top. And I don't, as much as I want to see Henry in a Ravens uniform, as much as I would die if that happened, I don't see Henry being the guy. I can see us sending a day 3 pick to the New York Jets to bring Dalvin Cook over here and kind of let him kind of mold into that running back by committee where he'll get some touches and get some looks in the offense. That's if we even add a running back at all. I don't see us going and forking over crazy draft picks for Josh Jacobs or apparently Ezekiel Elliott might be on the market for New England or Ramondre Stevenson. I don't see us going and doing any of that. So it might be a Dalvin Cook or nothing kind of thing. If Henry gets traded here, it has to be the perfect situation, Josh. What do you
Yeah,
if
they would
if
have
you're
to
playing
eat the money.
if you're playing GM, Josh, what do you give up for Henry?
Uh, Nothing above a 4th-round pick, and they would have to eat half of that salary at least.
Exactly. I agree
He's
with
due
you
50
100%.
million. He's due 50 million.
Yeah,
He has 50 million guaranteed more dollars coming his way. So the Ravens cannot take that on. Hell
yeah,
no, not for a 31-year-old running back.
he's 28. But
Well,
I
yeah,
hear
but
you.
shit,
I
he's
hear
close
you. I
enough to
mean,
30.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people see the dominance and they see his build and they see his stature. He's starting to get hurt. He's starting to break down a little bit. He's starting to hit that
Yeah,
wall. Like,
he needs to be a second back somewhere.
or he needs to go someplace where he's not the feature 25,
Right.
30 carry a game back. Um, and I don't think he would be that here. I think that he would be a 10, 15 touch back here, if that. And to me, he's got so many miles on him before he even reached the NFL, where Alabama ran him into the ground for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And he came into the NFL with a lot of tread, and I know he split time with Deion Lewis his first year, but Derrick Henry's been touching the ball 350 times a year, and he's been taking an absolute beating. So I'm not surprised that um, they're looking to move him, considering they paid him a lot of money. He was one of the first running backs of this generation to really get a big payday. The football fan in me says yes, but the logical side of me says there's no way they're kicking out any. If they kick out anything higher than a fourth, they're crazy. Unless, like you said, Tennessee eats half of that money, if not more.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ravens can't afford to take on that much money.
Yeah, speaking of money, we got we're gonna have a lot tied. We don't know what the salary cap's going to be next year, so um,
It's expected to go up. That's all I know.
yeah, it's expected to go up, and I think they find a way to cut bait with Marcus Williams. Even though I don't,
Yeah, because
unless
he's
they, unless it,
guaranteed 15 million. There's no way they're paying him 15 million.
unless they know for a fact that they're not going to be able to keep Geno, I think that he's gone, and maybe at that point, in a year or two, you move Marlin back there. I'm not 100% positive on that, but that could be a move that they could consider making. But yeah,
Damn, you're already trying to call Marlon old and make him a damn safety?
no, he's pushing 30. I'm not saying that he's old or anything like that, but he could probably flourish in a situation where he can just sit back there and choose who he wants to cover and not have to worry about turning and running every single play like he has to now. But Williams is a lot of money. I just don't see them fitting in a Derrick Henry contract along
No.
with all the other contracts that are still there. And we got to figure out who's more important at this point. And I know it's crazy that we're talking about this in week 8, Josh. You know, but you're going to have a hard decision to make whether it's going to be Matabike or Queen.
Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be Matabuke. I don't think you can talk Queen's. Like I said, if Queen keeps going the way he's going to get a Roquan type deal somewhere. So maybe even a little bit more than Rogue. So I don't know, man. He's not going to be here. I think it's got to be Matabuke. I don't think there's a chance Queen stays here. It would have to
Yeah,
be him wanting to stay here and leaving a whole lot of money on the table, which I don't think is happening. I told you, he's already made comments on a podcast this off season where he said, the money's not what he thought it would be. It's not as much as he thought it would be. So uh, he's taking the big deal somewhere. So
oh
good
yeah,
for
he's
him,
on.
man. Good for him.
And I'm happy for the guy, but yeah, we play this Sunday at 4:30, so
I
that's
hate those kind. I hate the 4:30 games.
the 4:30 games are just the middle of the day. It's awkward because I feel like
Yep.
right after the game, I kind of just gotta shower, get the little one in bed, and then it's bedtime. Because we got to work the next day.
Yep.
But
And we got
yeah,
film
I'm
that night.
I'm I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be one that we win handily. That's a wrap, buddy. I don't think we need to go much longer than this. We got everything out of the way.
Got some cheese Doritos with my name on them, partner.
Go ahead and shut it down, man.
All right, we're going to shut it down. Cardinals, we're sorry what we're about to do to you. And I lived in Arizona for a short period in my life. And a few months, actually. Yuma, Arizona. F the Cardinals, dude. Y'all are going to lose, motherfuckers.